Hey guys, welcome back. So here we have a John Deere 50G. It's got a couple issues here. So we have this H-link. Looks like it's a ductile iron. They broke it. They tried to weld it. It didn't stick. So has another issue. So we're gonna get that. Customer asked me to remove the thumb. They don't ever use the thumb, he said. So we're gonna remove the thumb and we're gonna get her all fixed up. This link is not available through John Deere anymore. And he says they have two of these that are exactly like this broken. So we're gonna end up making one out of steel, much stronger than that. It won't break, it'll be serviceable. So, all right, let's tear this thing down. It's a good one. All right. Oh yeah. Get this cleaned up. Get it checked out. All right, so we got this all tore apart. You can see that's definitely not good. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to see. I don't have the new bushings yet, but when I get the new bushings, I'm gonna see how far off it is. But we might change out this whole end piece. Not sure yet. We'll see how far out. If they're off like just one weld pass for line boring, then maybe we'll run it. But this situation might be better to change that. So we'll see. Get all this cleaned up. I'm gonna go run and do a job real quick. I'll probably have Jacob pressure wash this area here so we're not dealing with any grease. We'll get all this stuff out of the way. And then, like I said, the thumb is not going back on it. Customer does not want that back on there. So yeah, let's we'll get it clean and get it back in here. All right, so we got this thing cleaned up. We got it in the shop. I was getting ready to set up S-Power on here and noticed that the bushings that they gave me are the wrong ones. So I have all that coming, should have it tomorrow. I have these new banana pieces. I'm not sure why they are orange, but they do appear to be correct. We have new pins. Show you this H-link. Zach got it designed and cut really before I could film anything. So basically it's all 1/2 inch. Welded all together. He's machining the new pieces right now. Basically we're starting off with some solid 4130. I already had it. So we're just going to utilize that. That'll be really good material to use. So, all right. Just kind of show you a little bit of what's going on, kind of how that fits together. Should be a lot better. And then like I said, we're got bushings coming. Everything is going to all be OEM, so everything will match. You know, if someone had to change something in the future. All right, so we have our pieces that we cut for our H-link. We're just gonna kind of get some of the edges cleaned up a little bit from the plasma. Not really necessary, but overall it'll look better when we weld it together. So we're gonna get that cleaned up, tack it together, and then yeah, we're still waiting on our end pieces to finish getting machined. And once we get those, then we'll weld it all together. All right, sorry, there's a lot of skipping around, trying to do a million things at once. So here's our big piece. It's cut to the proper length. So now we're just gonna machine, and now that I have the correct bushings, so now we're just gonna machine the ends so that these slide through. We already have a pretty big hole in there, but there'll be a small shoulder. These will press up against the shoulder, followed by the grease seal, and then we're good to go. And then the last two small pieces will be made out of that. All right, so let's finish this up. So on this machine, I also got asked to change out the top idler rollers. This is what it was, and this is what it's supposed to look like. A little bit of a difference there. And I'm pretty sure the other side is seized up. I don't know, that doesn't seem like a great design, but I guess with smaller machines, they cut corners maybe. All right, well, there we go. We got two of the end pieces done for that H-link. Now I'm gonna come up with a jig to hold these together while we weld it. All right, so we got part of this tacked together. You can see it's a really nice fit up. I'm gonna have Jacob start welding this out. I think my plan is we're going to weld this out, because if this moves a little bit, it's not as critical as these two not moving to each other. So if anything flexes over here, we'll let it do it now, and then when we weld these ones on, it'll be less heat input, and hopefully everything stays aligned as it should. All right, so here's what I came up with. So we have our two ears. We have our center gap. We have a basically same diameter as a pin, hollow inside. That's this. Tighten it down. Hopefully, once this is tight, it will hold these in alignment until the welding is done. All right, well, it's really not that bad. It's like 1/8 of an inch or something right there. And obviously this thing should not do that. But all right, so we're just gonna do full line bore process. I talked about cutting this out. I don't think that would be faster. So, all right, we're gonna set up on it. And we'll do a usual clean cut and all that. So, all right, let's get to it. All right, so we're using the S-Power, and the way that these bearings are, these are the ones that come with it. It's kind of hard to get set up on something that's really small like that with these type of bearings. So we're gonna tack a tube right here so that we can get these two mounted to it, because you don't want these to be super narrow, because it in my opinion, it helps with the vibration and chatter and everything. If you have them further apart, it's kind of like standing wide versus standing with your feet together. As well as when I gotta fish that tool in there to measure for the final cut, so I need that extra room to do that as well. So that's what we're gonna do here. Tack this on, put it up right here. Now we'll be able to get that on like that. See this side better. We'll be able to get that, and then honestly, we're probably gonna do something very similar on this side. On the other side, let me go see if I can find another piece of scrap, and then I'll be back. All right, got another piece of scrap laying out there. Get this tacked on here. All right, so one thing that I learned while using the S-Power setup, and it might be helpful to others who are using it, is when you go tack your bearings on and you know your setup looks like this, you want all of your bolts basically touching what you're doing. You don't want any gap there. So kind of what I did here was I ran this one out. I unscrewed it till it touched. I put a very light tack on it, and I did the same thing all the way around. And then the opposite side of the light tack, I put a heavier tack, and then came back and put an even bigger tack over the light tack. That helps with the bearing getting pulled around and stuff. Same thing. And then we'll go through and we'll snug these nuts and snug these. And hopefully, if everything is happy, it will be nice and smooth and in line with each other. All right, so we got the center cones out. Everything looks pretty good. See if this lines up. See, it slides right through. Spins nice and freely. All right, so let's get everything set up here and knock this thing out. Trying to have this done today. Today is Sunday. You know, it's just when you own your own company, it's just never ending. Especially when you're small, you only have a couple guys. Gotta make the customers happy, you gotta chase the money, that whole deal, you know, so. All right, now let's do our clean cut. These bushings only sit on the ends here. I'm only gonna basically just do the ends. Instead of doing the entire thing, I'm just gonna do the ends. And there's added extra complications in here with it being so close to the bar and whatnot. So just doing the ends will speed it up and it will achieve the same result. All right, so having a little bit of an issue with porosity. Obviously that's not good. This is the one thing that I really do not like about the S-Power welder is the angle. I think a lot of this has to do with the angle. The angle of the gun, and you just can't make it steeper. It's too much of like this, where it should be more like down on the weld. I have my gas turned up like 60 CFM. There's no wind or anything. I've been messing with this thing for like 2 hours trying to get it to not do porosity. So we're gonna go about this another way. I'm thinking we're just gonna cut these holes just a hair bigger than they were, and we're gonna make some sleeves and press those in. Because this thing needs to be done today, and that's probably gonna be our best option. So, all right, we're gonna cut this weld out and then make that hole just a hair bigger, and then we're gonna machine some sleeves. All right, we're almost done oversizing those holes. Jacob has this link all welded out. I think it looks pretty good. That's definitely way stronger than this other one. All right, we're gonna see if we can find some gray paint and get that painted. All right, so we got our sleeves here that we're gonna press in there. So we're gonna kind of get this tore down and get the stuff out to press them in. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's hailing. All right, and of course, lovely California power grid systems. The power has gone out. But we got this all cleaned up. I have the sleeves in there. So now we just have to clean up the tack welds. And the only thing left is, so I did put a chamfer on here, and I was gonna weld that, smooth it out, and then press these in. Kind of bad lighting. You can see the chamfer. Those are good. So the power comes back on. If not, then we'll finish it off of a generator. All right, well, the power has not come back on yet, so I'm gonna fire up the Big Blue 500. It's kind of like my my backup machine, especially for situations like this. Power doesn't go out a lot, but when it does, it's nice to have power to at least keep one operation going. All right, drag the welder over here and get this welded up. All right, well, it's after dark now. Still going on this thing. Notice this is all jacked up. Pin's super loose in there. So that obviously has to get fixed. Surprisingly, the other holes are actually fairly tight, including that one. So I made this real quick. Stick that in there. On my call tonight, Jacob's gonna handle this. Tomorrow, I'm going out of town. I gotta leave in about, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours, super early in the morning, a long drive. Here's the H-link. Looks pretty good. We're gonna go get the correct John Deere gray from the dealer and paint it that color. And we're also gonna paint these. I bought these from the dealer and I have no clue why the heck they are orange. It's just really, I have no idea why they're orange. So we're gonna paint those gray as well. And then Jacob's gonna reassemble everything, and then yeah, we'll see how he did when we get back. All right, Jacob got this thing all put together. Actually looks really good, except that we went to the dealer to get that John Deere gray, and they did not have it at all. We ended up painting these parts that were orange. We ended up painting those gray just because orange doesn't go with anything here. So it's all back together. Looks really good. Nice and tight. Perfect. And then, you know, while we did that, the video was focused on that, but we did track idlers and we changed out this joystick handle, which was broken. So there's always other stuff that gets done, you know, to these things that never make it into videos, and a couple little things there. Nice little California sunrise. Got a scratchy throat, as you can probably hear. All right, well, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.